Well, hello there, YouTube. I am going for a nice, beautiful, sunny ride. Temperature's only about 50, 55, 56. Looks like 56, which is fine with me. I went for a little ride yesterday and wore my TPG Rainier jacket with sweatshirt and stuff underneath there. God, that was like too uncomfortable, too bulked up. So this is my old Joe Rocket jacket and Joe Rocket gloves. Had these things, good Lord, I've had this jacket for probably 14 years or so. I was thinking about it last night. I was talking about it yesterday, the gloves and stuff. I think the gloves are probably somewhere around 12 years old. They could be just as old as the jacket, but it seems like I got the gloves a little bit later. I've got another pair of gloves, and I don't remember the name of them, but they're black and have yellow stitching. I can't seem to find those. These are kind of overkill. They're comfortable and everything, but it's got the little fold on the tip of the finger there, where if you're pushing buttons like on your camera and stuff, you can't feel it correctly. Like turning the Wi-Fi on and off through the skeleton cage. So on Friday, after reading a lot of reviews and watching videos, I think I talked about this once before. I may have not used that in a video, but talking about the Sena S20 Bluetooth headsets, which are vastly superior, as it turns out, than these the HMS 10 that I have on there now. I don't have a problem with them as far as how they function, or you know, the talking back and forth to people, how well that works. The wife and I, no issues whatsoever. You know, in conversations I hear everything fine. But how the SMH20 records to the GoPro backpack, the adapter you can put on the GP10 that you can put on the back of a GoPro and record your conversations through the Sena. The SMH10 is horrible, absolutely horrible in my mind. Although quite a few of you have commented on my dual vlogs that was actually the best audio you've ever heard. You know, everybody has their own taste, and that's all cool. But for me personally, I think it's absolutely horrific. The audio sounds like you remember when you uploaded stuff from the internet and it was on your phone, or when you played videos back in the early days before 3G and 4G and 4G LTE, how that, you know, it was streamed at such a low bandwidth that the sound kind of had that, like it was swimming through water kind of a sound. That's what it sounds like to me when the voice is being recorded. I think it's absolutely horrible. And to make that worse, it completely eliminates the sound of the bike. And I've noticed that other vloggers using the 20S, I can hear the bike. Now, this is my opinion on audio with motovlogging. One, you know, you obviously want the sound as good as possible, but two elements that I want in there is I want to hear the bike. It doesn't need to be, you know, drowning out the sound or anything like that. You know, obviously that's not going to work, but I want to hear the bike in the background, and I want to hear just a little bit of wind to give you that sense that when you're watching one of my videos, you're riding along with me. And with all the shortcomings of using Super View on a GoPro Hero, you know, pointing out invisible mountains and not being able to see things in the distance, the overall view, to me, when you're going down the road, and you know, even when I watch my, you know, I'll look at these videos before I decide whether I'm gonna do anything with them or not, and I want to have the feeling I'm going on that ride again. So the super view just gives you that weird dynamic that you're going along for the ride. You're not closed in looking through basically you know, a segment of what's going on. You're almost getting the peripheral as well, which is what you see when you drive down the road on the bike. And like right now, I hear the bike, I hear the wind. It's real. I want the audio to sound real. If you drown the bike and all the wind out, hell, I could do that anytime. Kelly and I could sit down at the computer with a couple of lapel mics on and dub audio right in on top of whatever video I played. You have all the time to script whatever you want to say. That's just not real. I want you to hear what's happening when it's happening. And the SMH20 along with the GP10 adapter for the GoPro, you're not getting that at all. There's literally no wind whatsoever, and in a lot of cases that's a good thing. But it sounds, but making the bike disappear to me is just not acceptable at all. And when you ride something quieter, like when I ride my DR or ride the Spider, the thing just disappears altogether. And one of the things that sealed the deal with not liking this thing at all, if you watch the little series, I forget what it was, like a 3-part, maybe a 4-part, I have no idea what it was, or I don't recall. When Kelly and I went up to Mount Rainier, actually the first part of that, there was some kind of connection problem and the audio was just not even usable. But we're going through some pretty areas, so I just kind of, you know, sped it up. I made it somewhat usable. Just one of those, you know, just an extra notch in my belt of failed vlogs that I really wanted to work. It's amazing how many things I have that everything went perfect, but I don't like the content, or, you know, the thing stuffed away in a file somewhere and I don't remember what it was. I do it. Oh my Lord, can you see St. Helens good from here? Oh, there again, the super view will mute that completely. She's just sitting there right across some hills there. I can look right down into the north gaping hole, the mouth of the I'm in like 20th gear here. Oh, yeah, about 3rd, 4th. But as we all know, you're not seeing the mountain. If it wasn't such a hassle to put that second camera on, because there's Mount Rainier right behind them trees, which you wouldn't be able to see it even if it was zooming in, but having that second camera running it in medium view, but the problem is you use that narrower. Oh, they took them big old trees out. Those were cedar trees. That made that corner beautiful to come around. The big old cedar trees casting over the road. Damn, everybody wants to cut their trees down. I just don't get it. I see he's got it all chopped up in sections there. Hopefully he's gonna put it to good use. Somebody make an art project out of it or something. So we got a slide area sign that is brand new with some flags hanging off of it. We have ourselves a little problem. Oh, I can see where trees have fallen across here. We had some crazy rains back here. God, you can see the Columbia River plain as day out there. But anyway, oh yeah, look at that. The whole side of the hill came down. Oh, man, look at that. Well, that's one way to get rid of the trees on the side of the hill. But anyway, after all these, you know, reviews and everything, I was kind of sold on the old, the new 20S anyway. And I was going to buy them when they were first announced, but I don't know if any of you guys tried to purchase those things when they initially came out, but they were unobtainable. That's weird, that little slough thing that runs through here, or creek, whatever the hell you want to call it. You don't even see that thing in the summertime. But yeah, the audio, and I don't know how they managed to do it so well. And then so anyway, in my ride yesterday, I did talk about it a little bit, but I goofed off too much, did other weird shit, couldn't stay on topic. I didn't even look at the video. The camera, you know, it lasts, what, hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, however long that is, till the 3+ runs the battery out. But I ran it until the battery died. It actually shut off on me, and usually you hear the, you know, the double beat of the video stopping and the 4 beeps of the camera shutting off. And I actually I went to that last video and played the last few seconds of it. I wasn't doing anything, you know, I wasn't revving the bike or doing anything that would have prevented me from hearing it. I just didn't hear it. Maybe the wind was such, it was quite windy yesterday. It was crazy windy, actually. There is there is one part, I took a big loop and took, I always want to, not Colgan Makers, but Ostrander Road. I took it up to Silver Lake, where I used to live. I took South Silver Lake Road, came to Spirit Lake Highway, which is State Route 504, yeah. And when I come to that intersection of South Silver Lake and 504, I hear this bam, bam, you know, like, what the hell is this? This KTM, the old racing 4-stroke, the RFS motors, comes bombing up beside me, and some goddamn redneck looking guy, no helmet, no glasses, no gloves. He's got like either a plaid or a camo coat on that's not zipped up all the way, and heads east on the highway. So I followed him for a bit, you know. I mean, illegal as hell. This thing is, the bike is not street legal in any way, shape, or form. And not wearing a helmet is not legal here in Washington. So, and that's a state highway, so staters come up and down that thing all the time. I don't know how he got so lucky. But he's passing cars, you know, instead of just, you know, scooting past them, he's going all the way to the edge of the other lane. And the 2 cars I watched him pass, he passed on a left-hand turn. Anybody could have come around that corner and, man, it'd been over. The sad thing, you know, it'd have killed him, but a bike hitting a car head-on can kill a driver, a passenger. I've seen them things go through a windshield and, you know, practically cut a car in half. I've seen a FCR 1000 cut a Nissan Maxima almost in half. Killed an Oriental guy that was driving it. That was pretty brutal. Killed the rider too. Went right by my house in Portland. But how I got off on that, not quite sure, but well, the bad thing of that. But anyway, maybe I'll throw that little segment in there. I was actually kind of talking about the S20 at that point too. So if I throw that in here and that sounds confusing, it was my my kind of laid back attempt to talk about it. And you know, to some people, no bike knows no. What a crazy bastard. Let's just go right down the highway. This guy's gonna get a big ticket. What an idiot. Almighty, can you imagine how cold that is with no helmet? And his coat, look at his coat sucking the air up. I don't think it's zipped up all the way. the new one, the wind's pretty quiet, but you definitely hear the bike in the background. It's not drowning it out. But that it records to the GoPro that well really impresses me. This guy is one hell of an idiot. This is a state highway, so it's patrolled by the state police, and it will not be a good thing for this boy if a stater comes cruising by. His day's gonna get a little rough. But kind of got the feeling he looks like somebody that may just run from him too. Look at this guy. Now he's completely in the other lane. Now this Honda's gonna kill me. Oh shit, I got my feet on the back pegs. I'm looking for the shift lever. I literally always ride with my feet on the buddy pegs. The pillion pegs. The only problem is you can't shift, you can't brake, but any of you that rely on that rear brake to stop your motorcycle, you need to take a course. That's all I gotta tell you. Rear brakes are for traction control and steering, basically. When you figure 95 or more % of your braking power is on the front brake, keep your damn foot off of the rear brake. Use it for control, not for stopping. And I will use it in a, you know, in a panic stop, but I know you're just using it for control, and just a little extra, just that little extra of scrub that you get from it. You stomp on that rear brake in a panic. I've watched guys drive straight off the road. You lock the back wheel up and the bike is going to go in the last direction it was heading. It may be going sideways while it's doing it, but if I locked up the rear brake, I just go straight. No matter what I did to the bike, I'm going to go straight. If the wheel ain't rolling, it's not going to turn. Guaranteed. Keep your foot off of that rear brake. And people go, oh, well, in gravel, I might crash. Ugh. What do you think is going to happen when you stomp on the rear brake? Oh, the front end's going to wash out. No, it's not. You need to learn to ride. If you're afraid of that, you need to learn to ride. Take a course. But anyway, it's amazing how I get off on crazy shit. But nice thing about these little Sportsters, talking about not having rear brakes on the passenger pegs and not being able to shift, is most of the time you don't have to shift. These things are so long-winded in each gear. You just kind of pick a fairly high gear and kind of stick with it. If you go slow through a turn, so what? Give it gas. They got torque, they'll pull out of it. I'm not telling you to rev the shit out of your Harley. I'm telling you to go to a little higher gear than what you need. Like, if I go much faster than this, I'll need to shift to the next gear. But for general goofing around, I can go forever just stuck in this one gear. Watch this. I'll even show you something wild. There's a lot of gravel right there. My feet are still on the back peg, and I'm still in that gear. I think I'm in 4th or something. Don't need to shift. There's a shift. But it's so comfortable to have my feet back there. I need to, who's it, Rolling Sands or somebody has a nice rear set for these things. If I can find a set that doesn't look hacked together. And I don't want it overly adjustable. You know, you ever seen the ones, the rear sets that you buy and they got 5,000 holes? It looks like a damn piece of Swiss cheese with all the holes in it for all the different fine-tuning adjustments. Just get it close to where it's at. Make it a solid mount, I'll be happy. If I can deal with the odd placement of the mid pegs on this thing, I can deal with the rear sets being just a little off. I just want them in the general area of where the back pegs are now, because this is that's a perfect spot for them, right there. Feels comfortable, feels natural. It fits the bike, perfectly fits the bike. Of course, I'm 5'8", so your mileage may vary. What's all these little huts and stuff out here? I don't think I've ever drove this thing to the end, which could very well, you know, one of my classic end up in somebody's driveway. That was a concrete foundation for something there at some point. I see a private road sign right here. I know it's a dead end, I just don't know where it dead ends. Nothing like going out in the country in the boondocks on a Harley, out in Jeepers Creepers land out here. It's not that. It's old country folk. Well, it's private to the right, and it's private to the left. This is where I do my Yui. I see these signs when they say private road. Generally, that doesn't mean it's no trespassing. It's just a private road. My road is private. And generally speaking, it's just telling you there's no through traffic. They don't want you coming down there turning around or anything like that. Generally, it's a private road. They don't want you on it. You can't get prosecuted or anything weird like that, but stay the hell off is kind of what they're asking you to do. This is my private land. Stay away. Now, my road is actually on my land, but it's written into the deed, I guess it is, that was part of the deal, that I have to allow access to the people further down, because the name of the road is based on a person that lived way down the end of the road at one point. So it's actually his road. They sold the land, and that's how, even though that's on my property, I gotta, you know, give whoever rights to come down it. And it being a private lane, you're supposed to have some security that people won't come down there, but we get the hunters during hunting season come roaming down through there. So anyway, seeing as I've talked for like 20 minutes here, I'm gonna let you go. Bail out on you. So anyway, I'll finish this off with the deal. I did order the 20S-01D, which is the dual pack of the 20S. So I was just going to get the one for me, and it literally doubles the price getting the dual pack. But I want the best audio for Kelly and I as we're dual vlogging, and future dual vlogs with other people. I'm just afraid that well, I know how the HMS 10 is going to record, and I just don't want anything to do with it anymore. If you're not recording video, the SMH10 is fantastic. It works great. It's got a decent range, nowhere near equal to the 1.2 miles that the 20S is, but it's really good. I mean, your fellow can be almost out of sight and you can still hear him. But I've got that set ordered. I'll do because I'm sure you guys will be interested. There's not a ton of unboxings. Man, look at them trees. Them things could just come toppling off of there. If it's safe for me to pull over here for a second. Man, one of them's half hanging off of there. Holy crap. Man, that's got to be, what would you say, 150 feet maybe? Maybe a couple hundred feet? That's a long ass ways up there. crazy rains around here will get you landslides. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys and gals later on. We'll see ya. Bye bye now.